Hello and welcome. Do you guys remember this bin? I started it on the 19th. This is the African night crawlers that I transferred from a 3-gallon bin to this 10-gallon bin. And if you looked at my previous video, I inverted the bin and left it in this 10-gallon bin so that the worms can naturally go down into the material, because they tend to crawl when you put them in a new environment. They're notorious for that. So I figured if they could do it on their own with little disturbance, it would work out much better. And boy, did it ever. 2 days after I put them in here, I removed the bin, the smaller bin, and nobody was climbing, and none of the worms were left inside the small bin. So it was really fairly easy. And now these guys are here. I'm going to try really hard not to disturb them too much. They don't like it. They just don't like it. But this material looks really good. Yeah, they're all nice and active. I guess they're spread out a little bit more in here. They have a little bit more room, but you see we have youngsters here. And I think this is the area that had the food previously, although I didn't feed it yet. I'm going to feed them today. But it looks like, yeah, some of them are also in here. And in here, yeah, there's some nice chunky worms in here. So I'm really happy that they settled in really well. Okay, I'm not going to mess around too much in here, but that's I guess a good way to keep these guys from climbing out all over the place, as they so love to do. So I'll just feed them up and leave them alone. Let me get that food and I'll be right back. Okay, so I just gave them some moldy spinach and basil leaves. Very moldy basil leaves. And there's plenty of bedding, since this is all new bedding. I don't need to add any right now. And then just a little bit of pulverized eggshell. And these guys are good to go. Very, very happy with the way they settled in. And now I wanted to show you a bin that I haven't shown you before. I'll be right back. So this is also a 10-gallon bin, and I used it in previous experiments, but now I'm using it to house some of my larger European night crawlers. So you can see nice, large, beefy worm. Gorgeous. They're of course spread out in here. Here's another one. I think I have 22 or 23 in here. And these guys too are very, very active and don't like to be disturbed. So I'm just going to fluff up the bed ever so slightly and feed these guys up. See how active they are. They don't like to be disturbed. I don't blame them. And I will feed them up. They'll have the same rotten leaves. Although, my goodness gracious, the basil smells amazing, even when it's rotting like that. So these guys have that, and they'll get the eggshell. And we'll cover this up and let them go to town. But these guys settled in nicely as well. Now, these guys actually came from my outside raised garden bed. That's where I keep my free-range worms. And those worms, those European night crawlers, get to be that size. Once I have them in these smaller bins, the next population, I would say, lacks in the size. So although they get nice and big in my outside garden beds, where it's about 4 feet by 9 feet and 3 feet deep, in these totes and in all my systems, actually, I have noticed that they lose their size. So I put in 23 or 24 worms, large worms, and I'm going to keep an eye on them and keep them here and see how much size they actually lose with each consecutive generation. So I don't know if I'll be doing an update every week, but I will do updates periodically, and we'll see what develops here. So just another bin that I wanted to show you. I have many that I don't show, but this is just one I decided that I was going to bring you along on. So thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time.